Very happy to be joined by the CEO of Ubisoft live on our stage, Yves Guillemot, our yearly interview talking about Ubi. Congratulations yesterday. You guys had a great press conference, a lot of great content, a surprise as always. I think you guys are now known for the surprise at the end, like Watch Dogs last year, reinventing Tom Clancy. Let me ask you, Yves, you guys are, as I said, known for all these creative games. How do you feel about the health of the gaming industry, having seen what Microsoft did yesterday, what Sony did? Are you feeling confident now that the next generation is here?
Yes, I'm very confident with the industry now. I have always been confident, but we did wait a long time before getting those new consoles, and they are coming with the level of quality we could expect.
Yes, yeah, I mean the games look phenomenal on these systems. You obviously were on stage with Sony, and it feels like you guys are doing a lot with Sony. We saw EA do a lot with Microsoft. Tell me about, Ubisoft, you're obviously supporting all the systems, but what was your calculation in deciding, hey, let's do a little bit more with Sony this generation compared to Xbox?
It's difficult to answer that question.
Right.
I think it's, we partner regularly with both, with actually the three manufacturers.
Right.
And when, we saw that we could bring something very strong to Sony, where Microsoft seemed to have enough in their plate. So.
Right.
The games that we were bringing suited more maybe the PS4.
Yeah, well, they looked phenomenal on the PlayStation 4, and both of them do, Watch Dogs and Assassins. Now, there's been a lot of talk about all the used games and what publishers are going to do and things like that. Jack Tretton was just here a few hours ago saying, Sony wasn't going to restrict it for their games, but it was up to third parties about sort of what they wanted to do on the system. Microsoft has said a similar thing. Tell me about sort of your thinking around that. I mean, how is Ubisoft approaching the idea of used games on both Xbox One and PS4?
In fact, we have to find the right solution for the three parties that are involved.
Yep.
The consumer first,
yep.
Then the retailer and the publisher. So, used games, when they come after a while, it doesn't disturb the sales of the game, so we can have enough revenue, so we can reinvest a lot.
Makes it excellent. Right now, retailers are making a lot of money off those games that is not being reinvested into the game creation.
Yeah, I think they do their job, and they help consumers to, in fact, in a way, buy more products and
discover new games.
Yeah, so that is very positive. We have to make sure they don't do it for too much, so that the consumer loses his ability to buy other games.
Yeah.
But in fact, we have to look at the amount of service that we have to give. So when it changes consumer, we have to see how long he's going to play, what kind of service we are going to give him. So it's all those elements together that we have to make sure work for everybody. And we are really reviewing the whole thing at the moment.
Because I feel like, I guess one solution could be the retailer might give you a little piece of what they make off a game directly, or it could be, I guess, on the box with the consumer. But you feel there has to be something, the value exchange has to be changed a little bit, I guess, right?
I'm not sure it has to be changed in the short term.
Okay.
I think the way it works today is quite fine.
Okay.
It's just, if it continues, it's more digital and there are evolution there, we will have to have a system that works for either digital or...
Right, because you look on Steam now, and it's like
yeah.
people are not necessarily giving away Far Cry 3 on Steam to their friends and things like that, so it's like it's a...
Yeah, they have the ability to actually drop the price fast for a weekend or something, so there are new systems that will come with more digital.
Yeah, well, it's fascinating to see how it's all going to evolve. Now, you guys made a lot of announcements yesterday at the press conference. What is, I know you hate to pick the favorite of your children, but which game are you most excited about here at E3? Is it the new one that you unveiled?
I would say we are always very interested by the games we launched, the new brands we launched. The Crew and the Division were really the two products that we wanted to show to our fans and try to convince them that we can come with, we can get in the RPG and we can get in the racing game at a level that they expect, using this enormous capacity of the next-gen consoles on the two sides, the graphics, but also on all the social aspects that is going to give an opportunity to play together or to play alone, but to do both
Bring it all together.
As we want.
Fantastic. Now, one other thing I wanted to ask you about was a lot of news about a guy that I love making games, Patrice Désilets, and you had acquired his studio. Now, unfortunately, it sounds like he's no longer at Ubisoft. What I think gamers just want to play that game that he was creating, and it sounds like you said it was indefinitely suspended. What can you tell us about that game and that vision? Because I think we always love to have creators' visions come to us so we can see them.
Yeah, I think what's very important when you create a game, it has to be done with a team, and you have to make sure that there's a good balance between graphics and gameplay.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find that in this occasion. So, you know, when you put $100 million on a game, you have to make sure the end product will really be at the level of quality on all the aspects. And we couldn't make it work, actually.
But you did. You acquired it, so you thought you were going to be able to.
Yeah, I thought we would be able to convince Patrice to change his contract so that we could work together more closely.
Yeah.
And we couldn't make it. You know, he was in breach. With his game because he didn't deliver the milestone that he was supposed to bring.
Right.
And so we tried hard to solve the problem so that we could see he could reach
the potential.
He could cure. This game could cure the breach, but we couldn't make it. Never mind. He's going to do something else.
And that game we probably won't see, I guess, right?
We don't know. We don't know.
All right, well, we will see, Yves. Of course, lots of great games coming out of Ubisoft, and you guys are always innovating, so we look forward to hearing more about what Ubisoft's doing. I got to come over to the booth and put my hands on these games and play them.
You should, because there's a lot to discover again. You know, on Assassin's Creed, we have a 15 minutes demo there, and also a great demo on Watch Dogs, which is fantastic. So all those demos are worth playing.
All right, well, the next generation is here, and we can cheer because there are going to be a lot of great games. Yves, it's always such a pleasure talking to you at E3.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, and we're going to be right back after this.